I am giving away the most epic Demi God Pack to one lucky subscriber. All you have to do is make sure you are subscribed to the channel and then leave a like and a comment on this video here. The winner will be announced on December 31st. Good luck. Happy Friday, family. What is going on? I don't know why I just said that. I don't know why I said family. Fan clan? Family? What's up? Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you're having a really good week so far. We are 2 days. I'm doing it like this. This is like a rocker. Yeah. 2 days away from December 31st, from the end of 2023 and the beginning of 2024. And as if you've watched any of my videos over the past couple weeks, you know, I'm very, very excited to start a new year. I get really excited this time of year. I love spending time with family, with friends, doing things for the holidays, coming together. It's just such a great time, such a good time to be alive. You know what I'm saying? But really, like, goal setting, getting ready for 2024. And I do have a question for you. So I need to know in the comment section down below what your Pokemon card goal is for 2024. I really want to know what you guys are all looking to achieve in 2024. So for me, I really want to spend more time shoring up master sets. So I go through master sets all the time. Every time a new set comes out, I build a couple of different master sets. Obviously, we give one away to a subscriber on the channel, and then we keep one of them. And for the most part, Scarlet and Violet has been very easy to fill out a master set of just about everything. Paldea Evolved was a little bit more difficult, but for the most part, everything we've been able to open, we've been able to pull and get enough for a master set. But going back, there's still, like, even Evolving Skies, I'm still missing a couple of cards from there. I've got a bunch of XY sets, a bunch of black and white sets that I really need to kind of fill out. There's a lot of stuff that's all set up in it. It's just missing a few cards. So pulling out the binder, going through, buying the cards that I need, and then filling out what is missing. That's kind of my goal for 2024. I've lost sight of it. I haven't been able to take the time or make the time to keep up with it. So that's what I really need to focus on as far as cards go in 2024. Let me know in the comment section down below what you have as far as your goal or goals for 2024. It could be something crazy. It doesn't really matter what it is. I'm just interested to know what it is. I think it's really important to kind of write down your goals and then kind of take steps necessary to get them. So if you could do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you have a really good new year. We're going to talk today about Scarlet and Violet 151. We recorded a video about a month ago, a little over a month ago, about Scarlet and Violet 151 continuing to climb in price, and everything has changed over the past month, and we're talking about double-digit percentages of drops from a lot of singles. Now, here's the caveat. Price drops are not a negative thing. Price drops are a good thing. Like, there's the market for Pokemon is extremely cyclical. So if you bought at a higher point a month ago because you were like, FOMO's getting the best of me, I don't want this Charizard EX to go up even higher, don't freak yourself out. Things go up and down all over the place all the time, and we look at graphs all the time. The key is to adjust your spending to try and buy at the lowest price point. So studying trends, analyzing all the stuff, and collecting what you want. It doesn't really matter if you spend a few more dollars on a card because it's something that you enjoy, something that you want. So don't just buy to buy. Buy because it's something that you enjoy and something that you want. But a lot of double-digit percentage drops over the past month as Scarlet and Violet becomes more readily available. 151 seems to be out there. It seems to be available for a lot of people. You can still buy it from distribution in small amounts. And a lot of people are like, oh, this is crashing, it's plummeting, negative, like this is all. It's not a bad thing. It can be a good thing. There's a lot of good times to buy. I don't think this is quite it yet. I do think Scarlet and Violet 151 singles are going to go down further, but it's very interesting to keep track of and look at how they're performing, especially over this past month. And if you look at sealed product, like, you can still find ultra premium collections for under $100. Even the Elite Trainer box, and granted, it only comes with 9 packs, remember, instead of 10. Even the Elite Trainer box has dropped well below MSRP, selling for $40 to $45 in a lot of different cases, and you can find them even cheaper using TikTok coupons and things like that. So definitely keep an eye out moving forward. Maybe make a list, and that's something that I really recommend doing, is making a list. We get away from making lists all the time because it's kind of corny and you don't really want to do it. It's a lot of work and we're in a digital world, but making a list of what your target price points are for a lot of cards, that can be a big thing, so that way you can kind of cross out as you're adding them to your collection. I'm going to flip you guys around and stop rambling, but if you do enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment on the video. It goes a a really long way for the algorithm. We say that all the time, but just a like and just a comment is something so small that you can do to share the channel and get more eyes on it. So I really appreciate it when you guys do that. We're going to start out going through all of these cards that I have listed here. And there's not a ton of them, but there's a fair amount, kind of going over the bigger cards, the illustration rares, the special illustration rares from Scarlet and Violet 151. And on the left-hand side, when Scarlet and Violet 151 released, I took snips of TCG Player to kind of see where the market price had settled on opening day. So a lot of times you get these giant price shifts all over the place. And the thing about TCG Player is you cannot sell on TCG Player singles unless you're a pre-order store until release day. So you have to be a verified store authorized by TCG Player. You have to send in photos and all this good stuff to get verified. And then you can sell pre-order singles on TCG Player. So a lot of market prices that you see on TCG Player for products that haven't released yet, those are pre-order prices by a select small group of stores. So they oftentimes are inflated because they have very little purchases that happen. So then what we do is we screenshot opening day right away at the morning when all of a sudden the TCG Player listings go live for everybody. Right away when a set releases, then anybody can post stuff. They can preload stuff onto their accounts that way. As soon as like I forget what time it is, but Friday morning of a release, everything goes live. So all of a sudden then you get a lot more listings and a lot more availability, and that market price shifts all over the place. So you've got $125.98 as a market price for that Charizard EX special illustration rare on release day. And up until a month ago, it was actually trending in the upward direction. It was up 7.46%. So that's strong growth for a set that just released, for a card that just released, because typically you see a lot of prices plummet very, very quickly. However, a month ago, it was at 135.38. Look what it's done over the past month. It has lost almost 15% over the past month. Now it's sitting at 115.64, and it really hasn't been at that point since opening weekend. You can see 115.69 is the lowest listing on TCG Player on opening day. So it's finally back to that price point and continuing to fall further and further. Erica's Invitation, the special illustration rare, did not live up to the hype. Not the most playable card in the world right now. Now that could change in the future, and that's going to impact the pricing a little bit and could impact the price in the future. But if you look at the market price that it started out at, 77.06 is insane. It did plummet very, very quickly and continued to topple downhill, almost a 65% drop up until about a month ago. But now look at what it's done. It's lost another 25% on top of that. It's almost under the $20 mark. It's sitting at $20.23 currently and continuing to fall down. The Zapdos EX special illustration rare lost about 28% up until a month ago. Now it's dropped another 6% over the past month. It is a sub $40 card now, sitting at $39.19. If we look at the normal full art of Erica's Invitation, this one started out at $53.79 and then got hammered really hard throughout the first few months of release, dropping 73.5%, 73.71% for the first few months up until last month. And now look at, it's gone down even further, another 25% drop over just the past month. We're talking about just 4 weeks here that these cards have dropped some 25% even more, down to $10.56. We might see this as a single digit full art supporter. We might not be too far away from that. If we look at the full art Mew EX, this card, very surprising, but not too surprising because they have printed it so many different variants. So you've got this Mew EX full art, you've got the gold one, you've got the regular art one, and then you've got the special illustration rare that comes as a promo. So even though this is a very playable card, it's readily available. Pokemon has done a crazy job over the past couple of years making very playable cards readily available all over the place. So you don't have these crazy prices like what we've had in the past for Shaman or for Tapu Lele or for Dedenne. Like, you have these prices that are just much, much cheaper, much more affordable, making it much easier to play the game. $51.89 was the release day price for this Mew EX. It dropped almost 60% up until about a month ago, and now it's dropped about another 16% after that, down to $17.70. It is now a sub $20 card. The Venusaur EX special illustration rare climbed and climbed and climbed. It was actually about even a month ago from where it was on release day. Now it's dropped almost 10% over the past month. It's down to $42.05. We might see sub $40 prices very, very soon here. The Blastoise EX did extremely well. Now it's still a little bit higher than where it was on release day, but it has dropped down to $44.44. So it suffered about a 14% drop just just over the past month, much closer to that release day pricing. The full art Charizard EX, $35.31. This one has actually done really well. Also climbed and climbed and climbed, and up until a month ago, it started dropping even harder. It was at $36.44, and now it's dropped almost 10% on top of that. It's down to $33.04 at the lowest price it's been since the release. Here's that gold Mew that we were talking about before. $34.20 was the price on release day. A lot of people just don't get into the gold cards as much anymore. Snorlax is really the only one from Chilling Reign, the only gold card that has a decent amount of value associated with it. The Celebrations Mew still hovering right around $32, but other than that, there's not a whole lot of gold hype in the format or in the hobby at all. This one dropped almost 68% for the first few months up until about a month ago. Now it's under $10, $8.08 for this beautiful gold card. It's dropped almost 27% just over the past month. The Charmander, this one's all the baby illustration rares, or the basic illustration rares are all very, very interesting to me. These got really, really hyped. These grew like crazy right after release. This one started out fairly high at $28.42, but then climbed and climbed and climbed up to $33.78, and at one point it was even higher than that. However, it has plummeted almost 16% over the past month. It's right back down to the price it was on release day. It's sitting at $28.51. The Ivysaur is at its lowest point it's ever been. $27.24 is where it was on release day. It started climbing a little bit, then started going down a little bit. You can see it dropped about 33% up until about a month ago, and then it's dropped about another 8% since then, down to $16.78. The Alakazam EX, this one's very cool because it started out relatively cheap, right? It started out $26.72, climbed and climbed. It was up about 35% from release day pricing up until about a month ago. Now it's coming back down, getting closer and closer to that $27 mark where it started at, but it's sitting at $32 currently. It's dropped about 11% over the past month. The Bills transfer, the full art supporters just aren't doing it for this set. Really, in general, a lot of full art supporters aren't doing it as well as you might see like Iono, but Iono is obviously very, very playable, but other full art supporters just not really living up to the hype as what we've seen in the past with Sun and Moon, with XY, even with Black and White. $26.45 is where this was on release day. It lost over 77% up until about a month ago, and now it's dropped almost 32% more on top of that. So now it's sitting at $4.15. The Pikachu illustration rare, this is at $25.51. Not too bad. It did drop a little bit up until a month ago. It lost about 12.5%, but now just over the past month, it has become a sub $20 card. It's jumped almost 22% over the past month, sitting at $17.43 currently. The most expensive regular art EX, and the only one we're really going to spend any time on, is the Charizard EX. This is at $22.69 on opening day. Now, there was some thought that this would be a good competitive card. Not so much. The one from Obsidian Flames continued to just lead the way. The Charizard EX from Obsidian Flames is absolutely killing it in the format right now, but this one dropped about 76.5% up until about a month ago, and now it's lost another 23.5% over the past month, sitting at $4.09. The full art Golem, a lot of full arts are starting to fall really, really well. You're looking at about a 27% drop up until about a month ago, from $12.82 down to $9.39. Now it's dropped almost 32% over the past month, sitting at $6.42 currently. The illustration rare Caterpie, this one dropped about 33%. Now it's dropped another 17% over the past month. It's sitting at $6.80. The lone outlier is this Wigglytuff right here. Now it's still way down from where it was on release day, but this card has actually increased in price over the past month. It went from $7.56 to $7.90, which really isn't much, but 4.5% it's grown over the past month, which is very, very interesting. That's the only one that has grown. The secret rare Switch, again, secret rare is just not doing it for a lot of people. This card dropped almost 63% for the first few months of release. Now it's dropped another 10.5% over the past month, sitting at $4.36. Here's another basic illustration rare. The Squirtle started at $12.95. Really, really cheap, so still way higher than that. And it's actually performing fairly well, only about an 8% drop over the past month, so relatively flat. But look at that growth, 104% that it gained over the first few months, up to $26.43. Now it's lost a couple of bucks, sitting at $24. But again, if we're following trends and seeing what's happening with the other ones, wouldn't surprise me if we saw that as a sub $20 card
card in the new year. Here's the full art Blastoise. This card took a little bit of a hit over the past month. This one was at 1843 on opening day. It did go up a little bit, and now it's back down to closer to where it was on release day. It's lost about 6.5% over the past month, down to $19.16. The Mew EX has been hit hard over the past month. It's dropped over 36.5%. Now, part of that is because it has fallen out of competitive play favor a little bit. Obviously, like we said, Charizard doing really, really well. Pidgeot EX from Obsidian Flames doing really well. Some people coming off the necessity for this Mew, and you really only need one copy in your deck anyways. But $4.52 is what this has fallen to. It's lost 36.5% over the past month. The secret rare Psychic Energy, I think people are just sick of secret rare energies to begin with. This card has lost 27% over the past month. It is now sub $5 pricing for a secret rare energy card. Back in the day when Sun and Moon was out, you would never see anything like that. When the secret rare energies came out, those were always very expensive, and you're looking at secret rare energy cards for $4.50, 27% that is lost. The full art Zapdos, this one has lost almost 17% over the past month. It's down to $9.79. The Tangela illustration rare, this one was surprisingly high on release day at $19.13. Now it's suffered some big losses since then, including over the past month. It's lost almost 20%, 18.69%. It's down to $5.70. The secret rare, or the special illustration rare, Giovanni's Charisma, this one is cheaper than all the rest of them. This one has become a sub $10 card. It's lost over 27% just over the past month, sitting at $9.50 currently. Here's the Charmeleon, the stage 1 from the big line, I guess, if you would call the Fire Lizard the big line. $21.95 is where this was sitting on opening day. It did go up a little bit, but over the past month, it's lost almost 20%. It's down 18%, down to $19.05. It's become a sub 20 card. It's the cheapest it's been since release. The War Turtle illustration rare, this one stayed really, really flat for quite a while, and now it's lost a few dollars. It's dropped 16.5% down to $17.45. The full art Venusaur EX, this was almost a $20 card on release. Lost a little bit, stayed relatively flat for the first few months, but now over the last month, it's lost about almost a quarter of its value. It's lost 21.11%. It's down to $14.95. If we look at the illustration rare Nidoking, this was at $11.10 on opening day. Dropped a little bit, stayed relatively flat, lost about 15% over the first few months, but now look at what it's done over the last month. Lost over 20%. So again, almost a quarter of its value over the last month, down 21.72%, down to $7.39. If we look at the Giovanni's Charisma full art, this one dropped 41% for the first few months. Now it's dropped another 27% on top of that. This card is down to $4.76. The Poliwhirl actually did a really good job of gaining ground. Went from $10.81 on release. The first few months it gained almost 21.5%. It was up to $13.13. Now over the last month, it's lost all of that back. It's lost almost 19%, down to $10.67. The full art Ninetales EX, this was at $10.58 on release. Gained about 22%, but now it's lost all of it back. It's sitting at $10.65. So basically where it was when it first released. Lost over 17% over the past month. The final basic one that we're going to talk about, basic illustration rare Bulbasaur. This one gained some ground. It started out at $10, which is extremely cheap, and this one has held on really, really well. You can see a huge gains, 146% over the first few months. Now it's stayed very, very flat since then, only down about 2% over the past month. Definitely one of the strong performers in the set. Very, very cool looking card, sitting at $24.05 currently. The full art Alakazam EX, this one did gain a little bit of ground and stayed relatively flat really since its release. Market price on release was $9.35, went up to $12. It's lost a couple of dollars since then. It's lost about 9% over the past month, but sitting at $10.99 currently. The Daisy's Helpful Art, this one got hit really, really hard over the past month. It's lost almost 20.5%. It's down to $4.87, so a sub $5 full art again, just like what we talked about with Bill's transfer before. The illustration rare Machoke, very cool looking card, $9.07 at release. Stayed relatively flat, only lost about 13% over the past few months, and now it's lost another 6% on top of that, but still sitting in the mid sevens at $7.43 currently. If we look at the Kangaskhan EX full art, this one gained some ground after release, jumped up 23% to $9.78. Now it's lost almost 20% over the past month, down to $7.89. The Mr. Mime, this one got hit really hard over the past month. This was sitting at $7.92 on release, stayed relatively flat for the first few months. Now it's lost almost almost 33% just in the past 4 weeks. It's now a sub $5 illustration rare, sitting at $4.94. The Arbok EX Full Art, this was at $7 on release. It jumped up to $9.09. Now it's lost about 7.5% down to $8.41. If we look at the Dragonair, this one was surprised a lot of people. This started out at $6.34, but beautiful artwork really dragged, really took this thing up to the top at $16.89. It gained 166.4%. Absolutely insane. It's lost a little bit of that back now. It's lost about 8% over the past month, but still sitting at $15.51, over double where it was after release. And then we have the Psyduck illustration rare. You're looking at about a 6% drop over the past month. Still about double where it was on release, but lost a little bit of value. So you can see a lot of these Scarlet and Violet 151 cards starting to lose some steam. As more and more product gets open, it only makes sense as supply gets bigger. People are trading off or selling off their duplicates. They're filling out their master set. Maybe they're opening up a little bit more because Scarlet and Violet 151 is staying readily available. It is relatively cheap to open, to crack, so a lot of people are having fun. Pull rates aren't the best at it, so a lot of people are maybe selling off their doubles to try and get more booster packs or to try to get those missing pieces. But some of the cards staying a little bit flat, but a lot of the cards really taking double-digit drops over the past month. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the new year, but I expect supply to stay relatively available for a lot of people, and I don't think we're at the bottom for a lot of these cards yet. So if you're still waiting to fill out your master set, be patient. I do think these cards are going to drop a little bit more, and again, that's okay. It's more than good for a lot of people who are looking at collecting the cards. And like I said, this market is always very cyclical. You're going to have ups and downs all over the place, so don't worry about what price point you're buying at. Just if it's something that you want, set a target goal and pull the trigger at that point. I hope you like the content. If you do, please hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment. Like I said, it goes a long way for the algorithm. Thank you guys so much for everything. We'll be back tomorrow with a short, Sunday with a video, and that's it for 2024. Thank you so much for everything. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Till next time, peace.